In today's video, we turn away from cyberware of cyberpunk and we dive into the bio-augmentation of the Space Marines, with a focus on the Ultramarines, who are the gold standard in the God Emperor's Imperium. If there were Space Marines rewards, they would sweep the most likely to obey the rules category every time. They embody the ideals of their Primarch Rebute Guilliman, following the Codex Astartes with such fervour that other chapters would probably roll their eyes if they weren't busy fighting heretics, that is. With their stable gene seed, which is essentially a template for making Space Marines, the Ultramarines show what happens when the Emperor's vision actually sticks. Now, I normally cover cyberpunk, but the Space Marines bio-augmentation has me swooning. The Ultramarines gene seed organs are essentially peak biological modifications that would make Vic blush. Let's break down these upgrades and see how they turn regular humans into superhuman warriors of the Imperium. The secondary heart backup pump. This secondary heart is basically the ultimate insurance policy, kicking in when the primary heart decides it's had enough. It keeps blood flowing even after critical injuries, boosting blood flow and oxygenation. This implant also enables Space Marines to survive in low oxygen environments under extreme exertion. In, of course, the very likely step of you becoming an Ultramarine, this will be the first step in your transformation. In the Battle of Karth, Ultramarines fought under brutal conditions against the Word Bearers. Thanks to their second heart, they were able to keep going even after taking hits that would drop a lesser warrior. It's the Space Marines equivalent to saying, "I'll rest when I'm dead," and then just refusing to die. The Asadulla, the bone strengthener. This implant releases growth hormones that alter the marine skeletal structure, making their bones denser, larger, and more resilient. It also enables bones to bond with other organs and implants more effectively. During the Battle of Macragge against the Tyranids, the Ultramarines stood against monstrous alien beasts and their enhanced bones held up. It's handy when your enemies include creatures the size of buses. Think of it as a bit of a built-in exoskeleton that doesn't care about OSHA regulations. The Scopia, the machine muscle. Another growth-stimulating implant, the Scopia enhances muscle growth, giving Marines their immense strength. This organ works with the Asadulla to ensure the Marines' musculature and skeleton develop in tandem. For context, given the Space Marine strength to carry weapons that would otherwise need a forklift, for Ultramarines, strength isn't about raw power alone, but about supporting endurance and calculated force. This implant provides that dependable and disciplined strength that the chapter relies on. In the Damnos incident, Ultramarines like Sergeant Tillian wielded heavy weaponry as if it were a toy gun. While other chapters may call them being by the book, the Ultramarines prove that you can bench press a Necron. Sometimes following protocol really does work out. The Hemostymon, the blood booster. This organ enhances blood, increasing oxygen delivery and boosting endurance. It's like having a lifetime of red blood cell doping built in. This means faster healing, reduced fatigue, and the ability to sustain themselves for extended periods of time in combat. The Siege of Ultramar saw Ultramarines fighting tirelessly, shrugging off fatigue while surrounded by chaos forces. Imagine a marathon that never ends, except there's a lot more screaming and someone summoning a demon in the corner. The Lamans Organ, the instant clotter, releases Laraman cells into the bloodstream, which quickly seals wounds and prevents bleeding out. It is essentially a built-in clotting agent that lets Space Marines ignore lethal injuries during combat. The skirmishes on Karth show the Ultramarines fighting on, bleeding but unbothered. When your blood clots faster than you can feel pain, it's safe to say band-aids are no longer in the budget. The Calisia Node, the anti-sleep implant. This implant surpasses the need for sleep, allowing a Space Marine to stay alert for days without any fatigue. It gives Marines the ability to rest part of their brain while remaining operational. Yes, like a dolphin. In the Battle of Thessalia, Ultramarines kept watch without blinking, literally, as they held strategic positions. Who needs REM sleep when your implant can keep you awake indefinitely? The homophagia, the memory ingester. This unique implant allows a marine to absorb genetic material from what they consume and access some memories or experience from that creature. It provides insight into enemy tactics, environments and cultures. Who would you snack on for intel? On Tarsus, the Ultramarines gained intel on the Tyranid behavior by, well, sampling the local flavor. They're likely the galaxy's most hardcore food critics, except they don't leave reviews, just casualties. For multi-lung extra breather, this implant gives Marines a third lung, allowing them to breathe in low oxygen environments, water, and even through certain poisonous atmospheres. The scouring of Baus Scampondus saw Ultramarines operating in smoke-filled atmospheres without missing a step. A very nice upgrade if you like surviving alien ambushes without needing to breathe every other minute. The Ulo Vision Enhancer. This implant enhances the Marines' eyesight, allowing them to see in low light, identify movement with precision, and even track fast-moving objects in detail. In the McCrae campaign, Ultramarines' keen sight helped them shoot down Tyranids even in the dark. When you can see Xeno coming from a mile away, sleeping with one eye open isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. The Lamans Air, the sound amplifier, gives the Marine a sense of balance and auditory processing, well, beyond human capacity, able to filter out background noise and identify specific sounds amidst chaos. The Suffa Membrane, the stasis switch. This implant allows a Marine to enter a state of suspended animation if severely wounded, conserving energy until they can be healed. After the defense of Suffa, wounded Ultramarines use this implant to preserve themselves until rescue. Think of it as hitting a snooze button on death. The Melanoconion, the radiation shield. This implant allows the Marine skin to darken in response to high levels of radiation. On Medusa 5, Ultramarines withstood radiation exposure that would have turned others into dust. Who needs SPF when your body's got a built-in protective layer? The otickid kidney, the double strengthener filter. This implant works with the proomina to filter and neutralize poisons. It makes Marines highly resistant to toxic environments and resistant to chemical attacks. The neuroglottis, the super smeller. This implant enhances a Marine's sense of smell and taste to superhuman levels, allowing them to detect poisons, track enemies and identify compounds, which must be great when they're snacking on Xenos. The mucranoid, the environmental adapter. This implant lets Marines secrete a waxy coating on their skin, protecting them from extreme temperatures and other environmental hazards. On Valhalla's icy wastelands, Ultramarines fought in freezing conditions. Struggling off frostbite is the closest thing you get to a built-in spacesuit. The Betcher's glands, the acid splitter. These glands allow Marines to spit a corrosive acid capable of melting through most materials. Is a last resort weapon that also has applications in survival situations. The progenoids, the seed of the future. These glands are the essence of the gene seed itself. They absorb and store genetic material which can later be harvested to create new Marines. The stability of the Ultramarines' progenoids makes their gene seed highly prized. And no, I am not talking about their junk. It is stored in their neck and chest. The stability of the Ultramarines' progenoids makes them ideal for creating successor chapters, like the Genesis chapter. It's like passing down the family genes, but with a slide of interstellar warfare. This stable, pure gene seed is one of the Ultramarines' biggest points of pride. With minimal mutations, the progenoids can be harvested and maintained in a strong chapter without worrying about corruption or instability. The black carapace, the interface. This final implant allows Marines to interface with their power armor directly, turning it into a second skin. With the black carapace, the armor responds to the Marines' thoughts, enhancing strength, speed and situational awareness. Ultramarines in the McCrae campaign use this to become one with their armor, maintaining precision with every step and strike. If your suit doesn't feel like a literal extension of your body, are you even a space marine? And there we have it. The Ultramarines' genetic stability and adherence to the Codex Astartes make them the shining example of what the Imperium wants: powerful, controlled and unshakably loyal soldiers. Compared to other chapters which face unpredictable gene seed mutations, Ultramarines are paragons of reliability, almost a bit too perfect. In their relentless stability, they prove that humanity's best chance at order sometimes requires a heavy dose of augmentation and a willingness to trade a bit of humanity for survival. But hey, if you're holding back ties of chaos and xenos, maybe a little bio-enhancement is what the Emperor ordered. If you like videos like these, be sure to like and subscribe for more. It keeps the heretics from finding me, and I'll see you in the next one.